baseball at the City College of San Francisco. He's still studying history and industrial arts. A happy man as he authors a 3-run home run to break a 1-all tie and give Montreal the first lead of this game. It's interesting that White, all season long, a 4th outfielder, and became only a starter when the young outfielder Tim Wallach didn't live up to all the expectations. A festive mood, this Olympic crowd. Well, with a couple of exceptions. Steve Rogers, working with a lead for the first time, will face Guerrero, Scioscia, and Russell in the Dodgers 7th. Take a thing away from the Montreal uprising, but a pitcher in that situation, Royce, goes back to the dugout and says, reconstructing the inning, Dawson doesn't hit the ball that hard but gets it out into right field, and I have to go and walk Carter. Parrish hits a ball not hard but perfect aim between short and third, and White's ball carried in the shortest part of the park about 10 feet over the fence. But that's 4 big runs.
Not throwing the ball down in the middle of the plate, and he gets up there and to right in a situation with men on base, and the pitch looked like it was right down the middle. The one mistake that he makes, the one real bad mistake, was with men on base. That really cost him to a guy that you don't expect a home run from. Those are the things that, as a pitcher, you go back and really get mad at yourself for doing. That's a blatant mistake to a little guy. Pitch down the middle, hits you out of the ballpark. Only 3 home runs. Royce, who in 157 innings only give up 6 home runs all year.
Guerrero fouls it away, and the count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes. Meanwhile, Rogers working another solid game for the Expos. 7th inning, it's Guerrero, Scioscia, and Russell scheduled with Royce due 4th up, so the bullpen remains busy for the Dodgers. Anyone gets on, it looks as if Tom Lasorda has thoughts of going to his bench for a pinch hitter. The Dodgers and the Expos were 1 and 2 in home runs this year in the National League. Dodgers had 82, Montreal 81. He got it. 4th strikeout for Rogers. Looked like he took something off this breaking ball.
4 strikeouts for Steve Wright, Dick, and 3 of them on the breaking ball. Another example of the curveball. After setting up with that fastball in, slider away, and then Steve will take something off that breaking ball, a much slower breaking ball than his slider. Totally fooled Guerrero.
He thought he had a strike there to Scioscia. Scioscia has grounded out a good play by Scott at second base and a ground out to first. Slice down the left field line. Rains in the corner. He got it.
We talked earlier about the speed that Tim Raines, not only offensively but defensively, will help you. This Montreal outfield with Raines, Dawson, and White. Outstanding defensive speed in the outfield, especially important on a team that has Asperger, and that may be a good example of how defensive speed can be beneficial.
Here's that big curveball, just missed outside. The range was a couple of steps into left center with Scioscia, left-handed hitter, up and outran the ball. quickly to short. Spire throws him out. Rogers, after getting the lead, retires the Dodgers in order in the top of the 7th inning. And oh, are they standing in Montreal? Canadian version. 7th inning stretch, leading 4-1.
What?
Take me onto the ball game, and they, in unison, over 50,000. They sung it with Victor tonight, leading 4-1. Chris Spire, bottom of the 7th inning, starts things for Montreal. Flied out and grounded out. It is interesting, and its point has been made several times, that here in this country of Canada, they're not united in their constitution, but 25 American baseball players have certainly united this country in terms of their pulling for one thing, and Spire with a solid single. The Toronto Maple Leaf fans may not root for the Montreal Canadiens in hockey, but the Blue Jay fans are certainly, apparently, from all we've heard, rooting for these Expos representing the country of Canada. Rogers up there apparently to sacrifice. Good one. Three-4 on the putout. Spire in scoring position. Bullpen is busy again for the Dodgers. Pena and Pablo Castillo. The Expos are trying to accomplish something. If you said before the playoff series that they could do this, you'd really raise some eyebrows around the National League. They're trying to beat in 4 successive games 4 left-handers: Steve Carlton again, Fernando Valenzuela, and Jerry Royce. You go 4-0 against those 4 outstanding pitchers, you deserve to be here.
Topped it off by the consideration that during the regular season they were 11-12 against all the left-handers in the league.
Tim Raines up. Raines and Scott with a chance to add to the 4-1 lead. Raines has struck out and grounded out twice. Here comes Lasorda. Rolling up his sleeves for some business at the mound.
He ran the count out to him 2-0 last time up, and Raines grounded out Wigsby to third base. 2-0 this time. Lasorda, Dodger manager's going to leave him in. Of course, this time out there, he's got a man in scoring position.
While Lasorda went out for that visit, Terry Forster, a left-hander, has joined Pena in the bullpen, and that gave Forster, who's really throwing in a hurry, a chance to loosen up. Not a mean accomplishment on this night. Ball gets away in the bullpen. That's another way to buy some time.
One reason not to bring another pitcher into this situation, take Royce out. Raines, a better hitter from the left-hand side, more power left-handed, and hit the ball with more authority from the left-hand side.
Strikes. Well, it's truly, of course, a World Series known as that for this century, and yet really an American series, but now an international series, perhaps. At least these playoffs are. Almost got him. Spire thought, well, he might be trying, and then he was looked off.
You can see Russell sneaking in behind Spire, giving Royce the hand that comes out, the glove hand that shoots out, saying, I'm going all the way to the bag.
Is that the signal you and Concepcion use?
It's kind of a a basic signal that every shortstop and pitcher will have.
3-0 to Raines, taking all away.
The key in that situation, when your shortstop goes over there, Dick, for a little lesson for the youngsters that are listening, if your shortstop is breaking over to that bag, don't throw the ball to home plate. Step off and give him a chance to get back to his defensive position. You don't want to throw the ball to home plate when your men are not in their correct defensive position.
What you're saying in this situation, if your shortstop breaks for the bag and then Royce delivers to Raines, you give Raines all of the left side of the infield, hit a little weak ground ball through. You don't want to put yourself at that disadvantage. Full count now to Raines. 4-1 Montreal. Jerry White's 3-run homer in the 6th inning, the difference. Out of play. Have a moment of that foul ball. We want to congratulate Bobby Cox, named the new manager of the Toronto Blue Jays. Buck Rogers rehired by the Milwaukee Brewers. Congratulations to those fine young field leaders, Cox and Rogers. And as expected, Dallas Green taking over in Chicago as their general manager with the Cubs. Get to right center, Landreau with a beat on it, tagging Spire. And he easily gets his way into third base. Two out to Scott. Being stronger from the left side. Is Scott a little stronger from this side? Or about the same?
He's about the same. He's hit at that 220 mark, 225 mark most of the year. He's a better hitter left-handed because he gets out of the box quicker, can get to just put the ball in play left-handed and get more infield hits.
One hopper to say, and the inning is over. So Royce settles down and denies the Expos in the 7th. No runs a hit. A man left at third base. 8th inning, Olympic Stadium. 4-1 Montreal. Choosing a step. The official paid attendance announced tonight at Olympic Stadium, and it is their largest crowd of this season, 54,372. More than 2,000 larger than any other audience this year to watch the Expos. And here's Jay Johnstone pinch hitting for Royce. He is a much traveled big leaguer. Angels, White Sox, A's, Phillies, Yankees, Padres, and now the Dodgers. He picked up the nickname with the Angels, his first big league club, of Moon Man. Spaceman is the Montreal answer. Bill Lee. Jay, he's a guy who'll keep things loose on the bench. Has been participating in a radio show in Los Angeles and doing an outstanding job. Appears he has a future in our business when he wants to hang up the helmet. One and two. Steve Rogers and the Expos 6 outs away from victory, leading 4-1, top of the 8th inning. This, by the way, is the 8th largest crowd ever at Olympic Stadium for baseball. 2-2. Johnstone, then the top of the order, Lopes and Landreau. Have a gun over there, doesn't he? Off balance, he whipped that solid throw to Cromartie.
Johnstone got a curveball, just slapped it down toward Larry Parrish. We've talked about what a fine, strong arm he has. As big and strong as he is, he should have that kind of arm. He is a big man.
And on the other end, Cromartie, the first baseman. I understand that Warren, as soon as this game's over, he's got a doubleheader tonight. Playing with a rock group. He's an outstanding drummer. Davy Lopes taking all the way and looks at a strike.
Rogers doing the same kind of things that he did against the Philadelphia Phillies, throwing strikes in the old classic pitching pattern that you hear in every clubhouse, at every level, every meeting, high and tight, low and away.
And throw strikes.
Exactly what he's doing. High and tight, low and away, throwing a slow curveball once in a while to change speeds.
He has not walked a man tonight. And been behind very few. He scattered 5 hits. The only run produced by the Dodgers in the 4th when Baker and Garvey singled open the inning and Say's ground ball scored the run. 2-2 the count.
It's a very difficult pattern of pitching to argue with. High and tight, low and away. It's been around for centuries. High and tight, you get the ball near the handle of that bat, right up there. Down and away, you get it as far away from the barrel as you possibly can when you're pitching away. Very basic.
They're chanting, Steve, Steve, Steve. Carter. Well, you just saw back-to-back 2 men who can really rifle the ball. Parrish at third and Carter the catcher. They drive the Carnival people out of business with their guns.
Lopes beats it out in front of the plate. Good communication between Carter and Rogers. You saw Rogers just pull off. Gary Carter, the quarterback, with a rifle, as Dick said, to first base.
That was like a quarterback throwing on the run, his throw to first base.
Rogers now 2 outs into the 8th inning, 104 pitches, and still throwing well. When he shut out the Phillies in Game 5 at the Vets, 9 full innings, he threw 102 pitches. Excellent control, the same kind of pitching that he's had today. 2-0 the count on Landreau. Only the 3rd time in the game that he's been 2 balls and no strikes on somebody.
John Gonzalez, our director, and George Finkel, our producer, and Michael Weissman, a coordinating producer of baseball, and all the kind things said in the press about our coverage here on NBC. Really nice to see the critics recognize the talented people behind the camera. All the technicians, our NBC cameramen. Three balls, 1 strike. Landreau trying to get on here in the 8th inning. There's the first walk of the game from Steve Rogers.
That might be the worst pitch he's thrown all night. That's going to cause, I would think, some action in the Montreal bullpen. 3-1, and he was not even close with that pitch. And you look down a triple barrel, really, for the Dodgers. Baker, Garvey, and Say coming up.
Rogers now looking at Dusty Baker, who has a single and 3 trips. Baker just solid throughout the year against every team. What a consistent player he was through 81. 1-1. Elias Sosa and Woody Fryman begin to throw in the Montreal bullpen. First activity, Jim Fanning from his relief corps. Sosa, the veteran lefty, Fryman. Is that Norm Sherry down there, I believe? Yes, Norm, a former manager in California Dodgers lead 1, and the Dodgers have but 3 outs left. Expos coming up in the 8th, in front 4-1. Back at Olympic Stadium in Montreal, Dick Enberg with Tom Seaver, and an invitation to join us tomorrow, 1 o'clock Eastern time, here on NBC. The pitchers in Game 4, right-hander Bill Gullickson and right-hander Bert Hooton. Matchup of Game 1 when Hooton bested Gullickson 5-1. Actually, the game was 2-0 going into the 8th inning. The Dodgers got 3 more in the 8th, and the Expos their only run in the 9th. And then after baseball, we'll find out who will be the Grand Prix Formula One world champion. Carlos Reutemann of Argentina is just 1 point ahead of Nelson Piquet of Brazil. And of course, the difference between first and second is 3 points. So the Formula One championship decided tomorrow, and we'll be able to see it. Looking forward to that live right here on NBC. There's the lineup of the leaders, and this is the final Grand Prix race of the year. You'll see it tomorrow. 8th inning. Andre Dawson against Alejandro Pena. Pena, 22-year-old native of the Dominican Republic, 6'3" and 180. Another chance for Ron Cey. Garvey digging it up. Little short hop. And Garvey has won several Golden Gloves. No trouble at all.
Andre Dawson still looking for that first RBI. Dick doesn't get it here, obviously. Golden Glove, Steve Garvey at first base. Picks it for Ron Cey. 1 out.
Alan Innie language. Number 1. Gary Carter, his walk kept the inning alive in the 6th inning. And in fact forced Dawson into second base on the walk, where he scored on Parrish's single. And then the big blow, the difference in the game, Jerry White's 3-run home run over the left field wall. 1 for 2 tonight. Broken bat, it sounded like, as Cey has his 7th assist of the game, 2nd in this inning. Parrish 2 for 3 this evening. In the Dodger 9th inning, Steve Rogers will face the middle of the order, Garvey, Cey, and Guerrero.
Talking to Parrish before the game, Dick, how he finished so strongly down during the regular season. In 372, coming down his last 25, 27 games. He struggled in that series with the Phillies. He really struggled. Some of the players said you're pulling off your left side again. You got to keep your left side in there.
Just like you said, pitchers have to keep that front shoulder in there.
Keep that front portion closed. That left shoulder, that left hip, that left knee must stay closed. You pull off the ball, your head comes off the ball, and you don't watch it all the way to the bat.
Inside. Whatever happens to the Expos in the playoffs this year, it's already been a great year, and their future seems so incredibly bright because the veterans are all right at their peak. 27, Parrish and Cromartie and Dawson, and then you have all that young talent for Jim Fanning. Well, it's an all Ron Cey inning. That was an Expo Cey. And that's all. I'm sorry I said that. And that's all for the Dodgers, or the Expos in the 8th inning. We go to the 9th, 4-1 Montreal. The red and white, the Canadian Maple Leaf. It's their happiness song here in Montreal, and through 8 innings, they've had 3 or 4 choruses, and now to the 9th. They're ready to celebrate with the Dodgers and their big guns up in the 9th inning. Garvey to start it. Hit and run single in 3 trips. 4-1. The Expos lead it. Rogers looking for his 4th consecutive complete game win. And the Dodgers, who won 63 all year, 13 of those in their last at bat. It's a good reminder. Good cut by Garvey. 1-2. Now the 31-year-old petroleum engineering major at Tulsa University, Steve Rogers, trying to back up his victories over Steve Carlton with a win over the Dodgers and Jerry Royce tonight. See Steve rolling his eyes, unhappy with the way through that breaking ball.
He will have a conference with himself now and then on the mound, that's for sure. Constantly reminding himself what to do. He'll have gestures about how he should get his left arm out, right arm up, etc. It works for him.
Smashed or smothered to third. Foul ball. Foul ball is the call.
Did you see Parrish throw that ball? As he got a gun at third base.
Third base umpire Joe West, a former quarterback at Elon College, made the call.
He may have the strongest arm of any third baseman in baseball. That ball right down on the line. You can see Joe West make the call right away. Watch Parrish. Boom. I mean, it is strong.
Joe West made the immediate call. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Garvey. Leading off the 9th inning, 4-1 Montreal. We commented, Tom, in the earlier series against the Phillies about the crowd and how it has its highs but a lot of lows, not much in between. That's not been the case tonight. Since White hit the 3-run homer, it's been a constant rumble here at Olympic Stadium.
Well, in between innings, they sing together. They're as a unit almost, and they react to the action on the field almost as a unit. They come up and come down together.
Kent, Steve as they pull for Rogers now in the 9th inning. But it's Garvey with a base hit off Parrish's glove. So Garvey's aboard. And Say the hitter.
That was a good example of a battle between 2 real veterans, Rogers and Garvey. Garvey battled him all the way just off the end of Larry Parrish's glove. Another shot from the camera behind home plate. You can see Rogers' reaction.
And Carter's, you see him sympathetically jump in the air trying to help Parrish get up? Say fouls it back. Say safe on an error. His ground ball knocked in the only run of the game in the 4th. And he fouled out. The only Dodger run in the 4th after Baker and Garvey had singled.
If as a pitcher, Dick, you look for positive things, last inning when he walked Landreau, he got Baker to make the last out. Parrish to Cromartie. It sets up a situation where he doesn't have to face Baker in this inning. He gets rid of Baker and can start with Garvey. Instead of having maybe their 3 best hitters in the 9th inning, he gets rid of Baker in the 8th inning. Those are the kind of things in order to put everything in a positive vein, you will tell yourself on the bench, oh, sure, I walked Landreau, but I got rid of Baker. Now I can start with Garvey.
Good point, but now Garvey has singled to lead off the inning. Rogers to rally. Foul.
He'll need some new wood on that one. Another sinker in off the plate. Rogers obviously looking for the ground ball to the left side, either to Parrish or Spire. Would love to turn the double play here.
Expo bullpen continues to throw. Sosa, a right-hander, and Fryman, a lefty, if needed.
There's a good example of looking at Steve Rogers, the grips we were talking about on the fastball. He gripped it cross seam, turned it to sinker, and then set the ball in his glove. He's changing it now. He will change his grips around, not letting he holds the glove up high like that, so the third base coach cannot see the kind of grip he puts on the ball.
That one smothered foul to Danny Ozark, the coach at third, the former Philly manager. Came from Los Angeles to Philadelphia as manager and now has returned the familiar Dodger blue. Top of the ninth inning. Montreal in front. Garvey at first. And the count now 2-2 to Roncey. Now you're just marking down Rogers' number of pitches. Tom Seaver 125. Is that about his maximum, would you think?
I would think on a cold night tonight, he is reaching the end of his line. That last pitch, a 2-2 pitch, way out of the strike zone. Now he runs it to 3-2. Shifting that advantage back to the hitter.
You saw there on the scoreboard also the French on the top of the count and the English on the bottom. Big pitch. And it's another base hit for the Dodgers. So Garvey and Say, two seasoned veterans, back-to-back base hits to bring the tying run to the plate in the Dodger ninth inning and to bring Jim Fanning to the mound. And he's going to go to the bullpen. Doesn't even wait till he gets to the foul line. It's interesting that Sosa and not right-hander Jeff Reardon is the man warming up. We did not see Sosa but one time against the Phillies in the playoffs. And apparently he isn't going to make the change. I thought he gave a signal that he's going to the bullpen, but that was not the case. Puts himself in that position. Of course, the manager has to walk that tightrope in so many games. Some will say if you take out Rogers, it's a mistake. Some would say leaving him in with a tying run at the plate might be a mistake, especially in that he's thrown so many pitches.
Of course, the manager has to make those decisions, and you see Garvey at second, Say at first. Jim Fanning is getting help on that bench over there from his Montreal pitching coach, Galen Cisco. His decisions are made with the help of his coaches, certainly.
Sosa, left-handed hitter, is due next. And he falls behind 2-0. Seaver and Rogers fan. Steve Rogers' nickname is Cy. Of course, Cy Young, a great former pitcher after whom the pitching award is named. Ooh, 2-1.
He needed that strike. He needs an out. We talked in game one about the importance of the first out in that inning. You got to get that first out. Steve Rogers still looking here in the ninth inning for his first out.
The hit totals are now even at 7. The difference in the game, one of the hits for Montreal, a 3-run homer. That's where Guerrero sits. He has that chance. He gets Gets his pitch, and it's high, 3-1. He wasn't swinging 2-0, or at least he didn't take a cut at the 2-0 pitch. But he is the man with power in this spot. And getting his pitch, he has a chance to tie it up with one swing. Parrish, one there. Double play. And a tough play.
Larry Parrish on the second hop simply steps on the bag and his gun to first base. That's the reason why Jim Fanning left Steve Rogers in the game, to get that ground ball. Rogers a sinker pitcher. Fanning knew he was at the end of his rope as far as pitches goes.
Here's Guerrero trying to beat that relay.
You can see Guerrero trying to beat out the double play. He knows it's a double play ball.
But going back to Parrish, the stop that he made at third base, when that ball second hop with a lot of English hits the dirt, that ball could very easily have kicked and gone down the line, and a whole different inning develops. That was a do-or-die play as he's trying to watch the ball, the bag, and he did it all masterfully.
He did it perfectly, coming in and taking it on as short a hop as he could possibly get. Even if the ball maybe had taken a bad hop, he was so close to the ball that at least he would have knocked the ball down and probably got one out. So Rogers, who was looking for his first out of the inning, now has two, thanks to the double play.
The second double play behind him tonight. Now 2 away in the ninth. Socia the batter. Hit deep down the right field line and hooking foul. Home run depth. It appears, no matter how you cut it, Tom Seaver, that Rogers has geared himself to just about 9 innings. He may have one out left. It doesn't appear he has too much left in the tank. But he's down to the final strike.
Use your legs a little bit more, get down and drive. You know you're fatigued. The most energy you have in your body is going to be down in your legs, down in the big muscles of your body. Get on and drive. Kick yourself from the rear end, say, need one more pitch. One more pitch and they got it.
And the crowd standing trying to help give him that extra emotional lift. Closes his own deal as he strikes out Socia to end the game. 4 consecutive brilliant pitching jobs by Steve Rogers, and the Expos are a game away from the series.
Right guard knows a man needs all.
There are the totals as the Expos win Game 3 and take a 2-1 advantage. Steve Rogers outdueling Jerry Royce. Jerry White's 3-run homer the difference. And now let's go down to the winning pitcher. Here's Brian Gumbel.
Okay, Dick, thank you very much. The numbers tell the story. The Dodgers only had 1 run, 7 hits. Steve, congratulations. You're making a habit of this kind of thing. You were up inside everybody's kitchen. Did you pitch a cold weather game?
I don't really think that that's any different type of game than I usually pitch. If I'm not able to get my fastballs inside on either hitter, left or right-handed hitter, I'm in trouble because my breaking stuff isn't consistent enough to get people out.
Did you make a good pitch to Guerrero on the double play ball?
Yeah, I did. It was a 3-1 sinker. It got in on him good, and I had left a couple out over the plate.
Steve, congratulations, 4-1 victory. Thank you much. Dick and Tom will be right back right after we take a commercial break.
Now there's a
Mr. Harbaugh from outside the stadium, high up on the tower, as the Expos win Game 3, 4-1. One game away from the World Series. They send Bill Gullickson against Bert Hooton tomorrow. NBC's National League Championship Series has been brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer, who invites you to test drive the 1982 Ford cars and trucks. By Light Beer, everything you always wanted in a beer, and less. By Kodak, America's storyteller. Tell your story on Kodak film. And by your local McDonald's restaurants, because you deserve a break today at McDonald's. The executive producer of NBC Sports is Don Ohlmeyer. Coordinating producer of baseball, Michael Weissman. Telecast of tonight's game produced by George Finkel and directed by John Gonzalez. Pre-game producer David Stern, technical director Lenny Stucker, associate director John Libretto, and associate producer David Neal. Our thanks to Mike Cohen, not related to the vice president of sports publicity at NBC. Tomorrow, sports action continues at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. The National League Championship Series. The Dodgers play here in Montreal, followed by the Caesars Palace Grand Prix. And now stay tuned following local news for The Tonight Show, starring Johnny Carson, except on the West Coast and most mountain stations, where they'll be seen at the regular time. From Olympic Stadium in Montreal, 54,373 fans saw Jerry White's 3-run homer combined with Steve Rogers' 7-hit pitching to launch the Expos within one game of the World Series against the New York Yankees. For Tom Seaver, this is Dick Enberg. Good night from Montreal.